Uh, well, I mean, you know, it's the only team in the league that we really haven't competed with in the first 2 years that we've been here. We've had a real hard time. They're awfully well coached, tremendous players, tremendous coaching staff. Um, they're a great team. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Texas A&M. They're obviously in the top 12 in the country for a reason. They got, like as I mentioned, great players and Hall of Fame coach. I think he's in 6 different Hall of Fames, and Kelly and Bob and Amy, tremendous coaching staff. Got Sidney Colson on the end of the bench, who's was a great point guard there, and so it'll be a tremendous challenge for us. But we're certainly excited about where we are right now at 22-3, and looking forward to playing here at home and having a great crowd on Sunday afternoon here in the Hump.
What was 2 years ago like against them?
I don't remember much about it. I try to block that out. 2 years ago, I remember last year very vividly. But 2 years ago here at the Hump, we just, outclassed, outmatched. They were really talented, and we almost couldn't get out of our own way. I think we got some looks the first half and couldn't make shots, and then the second half we couldn't do anything against them. And they were really talented. If I remember right, it was something like 88-33, if my memory serves me. Pretty close. So last year wasn't much better, a little bit, but not much. So we, it's been a tough matchup for us, no question about it, and been a real challenge to compete with those guys. And so hopefully this year's team be ready to be up for the challenge. They're certainly very, very talented.
Vic Jericho was saying that 2 years ago they entered the game thinking, "Man, this is going to be really tough. We don't know what's going to be tough." This year, it feels different. They said there's a confidence with the team. What's it take to change that mindset in a matter of 2 years?
Winning, different. You have to change your. Remember after that first year, we talked to the locker room after that last ball game. We talked about change. Everybody in the locker room had to change, had to work harder, change their skill set, develop some things that they had to get uncomfortable, and so and then we had to change the makeup of our roster as far as skill set goes, and we had to go get some help, and I think we've done that in the 2 recruiting classes since that first year, and so I think that's between the development of JJ, Kendra, and Martha, and then the 2 recruiting classes. I think that's been that's been probably the biggest change in 2 years since that first season. So I think we've got depth, we've got quality in our depth, and right now, our team is confident, and rightfully so. I mean, we're 22-3. I think they felt confident going into Tennessee. I think they feel confident coming out of Tennessee, knowing it was a 5-point game with 3 to go. I have a lot of confidence in this team. I've seen a lot of teams go into Tennessee, and I've been on that bench when it goes from 5-point game at halftime to 15 in the first 5 minutes of the second half, and it usually goes to 25 after that. This team battled back, and I was really, really proud of them for their competitiveness. And so I think they've got a lot of confidence, and that's why they feel the way they feel right now is they feel like they can compete with anyone, and I feel the same way.
Does the timing of the Tennessee game come at a really good time in the sense that you used the word outclassed, and given that you said that you feel that they've got the confidence coming off of that game, similar national caliber opponent in the sense that, hey, we can use that confidence maybe against a team that we haven't had success against, and we don't have to feel outclassed in that game?
No, absolutely, and again, that was 2 years ago that we were just outclassed, however you want to put it. But I think this year, certainly we've been playing well all year, and I think that you go to Tennessee and we scored 67 points at Tennessee. I was pretty encouraged by that. We just couldn't guard them. Just for whatever reason, had way too many uncontested jump shots, and of course they just mauled us inside. They're just so big and strong and tough inside. 3, 4, and 5, starting 3, 4, and 5 had 52 points, so it's a tough matchup for us a little bit, and to that extent, you know, from a confidence standpoint, obviously in February, you want to have confidence in what you're doing, and I think we do. And you know, we've got A&M, we got Kentucky after that on the road. Got to come home and play a Florida team that just went to Vanderbilt and won. So, I mean, you better have a little confidence this time of year, or it can go the other way in a hurry. And so I do think that you know, we're playing fairly well. We needed the break. We were the only team left in the league that hadn't had a bye. Some teams have already had 2 byes. And so we needed a little bit of a break, and the kids got it Monday and Tuesday. They didn't do a thing. Basketball, yesterday they lifted and conditioned and did individual workouts. And then today will be our first practice back. So you talk about having the extra prep maybe. We're only going to have 1 day extra from a prep standpoint. I think the biggest prep we got was not having to practice and just get some downtime. Because you know, we're young, you know, we got a lot of freshmen doing lots of things they never done this long, this hard into the season. So
the fact that you're going up against somebody that you worked with, I don't know if he's got a special wall with all the Hall of Fame plaques and everything like that, but can you just maybe talk a little bit about what it's been like to learn from him and to watch Coach Blair?
well, certainly is an honor. You know, you've worked for a guy for 15 years. You know, I've said this before, shame on me if I didn't learn anything, and I learned a lot from him every day. And I sit in my office now and think back over those 15 years and go, you know what, I know exactly what he was thinking, you know, back then on this day, or, you know, because until you sat in that chair and lived it, you know, when you're the head coach, the buck stops at your door. Every problem that's going on is your problem. You know, you're in charge of everything. And, you know, so it's, I learned a lot from him. And, you know, quite honestly, there's a side of me that wants to make him proud. You know, after working for a guy for 15 years, you want to show him, hey, you know, I learned a lot while I was with you, and we're successful now because of what we did together and what we learned together. And, you know, we won a lot of games together. You know, I don't know what his total is now, but at one point, you know, I was fortunate enough to be a part of over half of his victories, and you know, really an honor to have been on the bench with him. And again, we had a lot of success and a lot of good times together. And obviously they've continued on rocking along just like they were before we, you know, those 15 years. So it's, but there is a side of me that's been disappointed with our inability to compete with them. And then there's a side of me also that wants to make him proud with what we're doing here at Mississippi State. And I know this, on Sunday, he's going to be really proud of the program because of the atmosphere that's going to be in the hump. That was one thing that Coach always was a tremendous, he was tremendous at that side of it, the marketing side. And it was always important from day one. And he was always in the forefront of that. And I know we're going to have a great crowd Sunday. You know, we've been having good crowds. He's mentioned that to me when we've had some late night visits. And he's excited, you know, for that part of it. You know, he's been in this game a long time, and he's all about giving back to the game. And I've learned that from him over the course of time. It's important that we do give back to this game. And so I know he's going to be really proud and excited to be a part of the atmosphere on Sunday.
He asked what kind of marketing promotion you guys were going to have, and I didn't know until Brock said he suggested that you go outside and cook some barbecue for everybody. let your assistant coaches coach the game. Have you cooked some barbecue for him before in the past?
Well, I used to cook for all our tailgates, you know, when we hosted recruits. That was at football games, you know, I cooked. And that's just what I did there for the first probably 12 of those 15 years. You know, every football game I had the cooker going, and hey, I'm telling you, we had to start roping the place off because there'd be people walking by. Hey, here's $5. Y'all got a little extra, and we started, you know, but it really got out of hand, and so that's what I did for a long time, and I think what's really neat about what we got going on here right now is that we don't have any free tickets. We don't have a lot of gimmies going on. I mean, really, there's not a lot of gimmicks and things going on. I mean, we've got some free pizza, and you know, we had some T-shirts last weekend, but every seat in the hump is being paid for right now. We don't have, you know, I don't have 300 tickets or 100 tickets to go out and give away, and so I think that's what really makes our situation unique and special right now with what we're doing in the hump. And it's you know, I think this weekend we've got the Memphis Grizzlies halftime act coming in, maybe, which is great, and certainly excited. But you know, I think our fan base right now is where it is because of the product, because of how who our kids are and how they play, and I'm as proud of that as anything, you know, with what we're doing with our fan base right now. And so, you know, I had an email the other day from Blue Star Media, a lady that writes for Blue Star Media that had written a really nice article about what we're doing here in Starkville. And it was a knock on another school north, but at the same time, that draws really big for the men, but doesn't draw a lot for the women, but really bragging on what we're doing here at Mississippi State. And so I'm really proud of our fans. I couldn't be happier about what we're doing with our attendance, and again, I give all the credit to our kids because I think they're a big part of that.
Any other questions?